Some streets carry ghosts. For me, it was a quiet stretch of road I passed every few weeks. At first glance, it looked like any other. Rows of shop fronts, neon lights humming above, traffic lights flickering red to green. But whenever I drove through, my chest sank. Because that was where one of my biggest deals collapsed. Late one night, I found myself stopped at the red glow of that same intersection. The world outside was ordinary. Headlights sliding past, people walking by. But inside, I wasn't here. I was back there, replaying every moment of the failure. The client's face. The phone call ended with silence. The figures on the contract that no longer meant anything. The hum of the car engine blurred into background noise. All I could hear was my own voice, repeating the line I had carried for years. You'll never live this down. They'll never forget. And the more I stared at that traffic light, the more it didn't look like a signal anymore. It looked like a punishment, a reminder that I was stuck, that every time I passed here, I would be chained to the memory. I gripped the wheel tighter, knuckled white, and whispered to myself, they'll never forget what I lost. Some streets bring ghosts back to ride with me. Maybe you felt that too, haunted not by others, but by your own replay of the past. Mistakes don't just end in the moment they happen, they replay. In business, the deal I lost wasn't just numbers on paper. It became the yardstick I measured every decision against. Every new client meeting carried the shadow. Don't mess it up again. At home, rumination turned into distance. Even while sitting at dinner, my mind wandered back to that failed moment. My kids would talk, but I wasn't there. I was still behind that red light, replaying a ghost. And in the cultural layer, mistakes carried shame. Growing up, failure wasn't just a setback. It was face lost. And face, once lost, was seen as unrecoverable. I carried that story into adulthood, punishing myself longer than anyone else ever could. Do you know that feeling? When a memory comes back at the worst time, like a movie scene stuck on repeat. When the what-ifs drown out the present, and you feel chained to something long gone. When no amount of progress cancels out the one wrong turn you can't let go of. That's the trap of rumination. It doesn't just remember, it replays until the memory feels like your whole identity. I wish someone had told me, a mistake doesn't define you, it refines you. Instead, I told myself, this mistake will always be who I am. And that belief made the rearview mirror heavier than the road ahead. I thought mistakes chained me to the past. That red glow at the intersection didn't just light the street. It lit every failure I thought I carried forever. The breaking point came when I avoided driving through that street altogether. Instead of facing it, I'd take the long way around, adding minutes to every trip, just to dodge the memory. But one night, caught in traffic, I couldn't avoid it. The red light stopped me right there again, and as I stared at it, the weight inside me grew unbearable. My chest tight, my breath shallow, my hands frozen on the wheel. I muttered, they'll never forget what I lost. That was my crisis cue. My body mirrored the heaviness of the memory, jaw locked, shoulders hunched like I was still in the room where the deal collapsed, eyes fixed on the light but blind to the present. I wasn't just remembering, I was reliving. And then I realized the light wasn't punishing me. It was just a signal, a pause. What made it heavy was me, the story I tied to it. So I turned to the reset. Reset method. One is visualization. I pictured the red light as my rearview mirror. In that mirror, the mistake lived. But in front of me, through the windshield, the road stretched open. I chose to focus forward, not back. The past was behind me, still visible, but no longer steering me. Reset. Method 2 is breathwork. Exhale, release. I gripped the wheel, took a long inhale, and then a deep, deliberate exhale. Each exhale, I imagined, carried the ghost out of my chest. The first breath loosened my grip. The second softened my jaw. By the third, my chest didn't feel like a cage anymore. Reset. Method 3 is journaling prompt. When I got home, I opened my notebook and wrote one line. What lesson did this mistake teach me? The answer came slowly. It taught me humility. It taught me to listen more. That was something I could carry forward instead of shame. And at that moment, I noticed a shift. The red light didn't feel like chains anymore. It felt like a teacher. I whispered, "Notice what changed for you, even if just a little." After that reset, I saw the truth more clearly. The past doesn't vanish, but it doesn't have to be imprisonment. I repeated the positive shift. My mistakes refine me. They don't define me. And I let those words land. Healing begins when he reframes mistakes as teachers, not jailers. That sentence cracked something open, because for years, I treated mistakes like permanent scars, but they were lessons. Rough, painful, necessary lessons that shaped me stronger. The rearview mirror that once trapped me became a guide. I looked into it, saw the memory, and then shifted my gaze forward. My foot pressed the accelerator. The road opened. That was my symbolic moment. No longer stuck, but moving. And I said to myself, each wrong turn taught me how to drive stronger. Let's try this together. Think of one mistake that replays in your mind. Picture it in your rearview mirror. Notice how it looks smaller there, behind you. Now shift your gaze forward, your windshield, the open road. That's where you're driving. That's where life is unfolding. Take a breath with me. Inhale slowly. Exhale deliberately. With each exhale, imagine the weight of that mistake leaving your chest. Then, if you have a notebook nearby, write one line. What did this mistake teach me? Not what it cost you, what it taught you. In business, you might write about a deal that failed. The lesson, resilience, patience, or listening. At home, it could be a moment you regret with your kids. The lesson, repair matters more than perfection. And in culture, where mistakes are tied to shame, remember, lessons carry honor. Silence carries none. Even one lesson written down, is enough to transform a ghost into a guide. That street doesn't haunt me anymore. When I drive through now, the red light doesn't feel like judgment. It feels like a pause, like presence, like a reminder that even here, even with what I lost, I'm still moving forward. I carry lessons, not chains. That truth steadies me now. And I remind myself again, my mistakes refine me. They don't define me. So here's my reflection for you. What mistake have you been carrying as a chain? And what lesson could you carry instead? For me, it was a failed deal. For you, it might be something else. But freedom is the same. The past is behind you. The road is ahead. And before I end, let me share gratitude. Tonight, I'm grateful for the red lights that taught me to pause, to learn, and then to move forward stronger.